That's not like even like a proper statement. Like what are you what? Yo, Diggy. All right. Okay, I remember now. I absolutely fucked that up. What's good, yo? I'm trying to work on the lettering on here, but I kind of fucked it up. So all the um all the letters should stop at the same point. So before the E should actually be over more and stop where the R is at. I don't know why I continued to paint it when I already kind of saw it wasn't gonna come out right. So now I'm thinking about painting over it, or I don't know. I don't want to leave it like that. So I'm gonna fuck. I'm just gonna fix it. Or attempt to fix it anyway. Still been making some new beats on the music generator. What the fuck? Yeah, why this shit just turn off, bro? running out to some of these original beats. I guess I listened to that one long enough. Trying to get some of the detail on this canvas now. So I put that one together last night. Oh no, that's not ready. Damn. Oh, thank you. That might be wet still. Yeah. Fuck. Oh. So the Joey Badass cover's coming out nice. Yeah, I still gotta paint the top of his forehead right there.
Shouldn't be too much longer on food, man. I had to clean up. Said it won't be too much longer on food. I had to clean up and do some stuff first before I started cooking.
Okay. So you didn't start yet?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Oh.
The first batch of potatoes were to come out. And now I'm about to put the eggs in. I don't want to make the eggs until I finish the first batch of potatoes
Alright,
first.
so like I said, when I finish this painting, when this is done, I'll do our shoes, and then I'll do the underpainting for this painting, and then I'll do that painting. And the shoes will give me something else to work on, like just to break up these paintings for a minute, and advertise for more shoe customers.
Right.
Nobody, two people posted their T-shirts. Like nobody don't even post themselves wearing them T-shirts like for advertisement.
I mean, they bought them though. Shit. That goes to show.
You know.
But yeah, but like the shoes though. I mean, well, has Lena taken any pictures of her shoes?
Nope. And I texted dude George too. I was like, "Yo, what did your daughter think about those shoes?" Oh, she loved them. I'm like, "That's great," but you ain't seen me no pictures of her wearing the shoes at a party or going to school or nothing. Like people don't think about that shit. Help the artist out, yo.
I mean, I know for me, I wouldn't be wearing mine until it's nice outside anyway. So yeah.
Killer Pinball, what up? Yeah, I was playing with those two tracks last night. I don't know. I might delete both of them. Here's another one I've been working on. It's pretty cool. I might keep this one still. Try to mess around with it a little bit more. fried eggs, home fries, toast, sausage. God damn, this shit look good. Mm. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. Well, we got some home fries with some ketchup on it, some fried eggs, some sweet Italian sausage, and a couple pieces of toast. Man, this shit's so good. Like a little Tabasco on my eggs. Oh, definitely. You don't get no better than this right here, bro. Oh, come on, eggs. That yolk just running. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, these home fries are fucking slamming.
Yo, Prince, what up, man? I was locked in on this Turismo. I didn't even see it. Hope you still there. Give me a second. My last stop. Crossing the finish line now.
Watching my homie on Instagram Live.
Yeah, right, yeah, man. What's going on, man? How you doing, man? I said, I hope you still there. What's going on with you, man? Did I miss it? My bad, man. You know how I be. Chilling. Okay, there you go. You still there. Yeah, man. Doing the same, man. Doing the same, man.
So you're watching me on the live stream while I'm watching my friend on a live stream. Yeah, it's crazy how we can just all be connected through the internet. That shit is wild as fuck.
Man, what you got going on? What you got going on, man? Everything's a big chillin', man. This race game is good, man. It's good. I love it. I love it. I love it. You got your five. Yes. I feel. I remember that was one of the. Did you get your five? Live with this, that's the better look, but the connection be acting up as far as allowing me to go live. But I feel like I have connectivity issues. Just off the phone partially. Justice. Been on that seafood, yeah, that's a good thing too. You gonna live a long time. Well, it was day before yesterday. My boy was talking about that, but that you was playing. Shaman came and asked, "Yo, you gonna get the seafood?" And I think another one of my people was like, "Yeah, man, I seen somebody playing that, and I respect you for it, cause you the artist, you the artiste, the prince." And I never had the patience for the art games. I never liked that look. Remember the game 7, different games like that. I never zoned down on one of them. But I do have the paint game downloaded that I saw you playing one time. Where the girl goes around and makes like graffiti or something like that.
Let's go.
Yo, we would.
I'm still on my shit too, man. Big June. Building and collaborating, holding collabo sessions in the game room here, smoke lounge. I don't know about Yahweh. Around Yahweh, I know Yahweh, you know what I mean? But it's the 5-day weather report out this bitch.
Where's that?
Colorado.
Expect snow and shit. And it's currently snowing right now.
No thanks. Although I heard their snow is different though.
So winter ain't over. It's all around the corner. Still ain't here hibernating with my sports
That's crazy.
and shit.
I know Colorado ain't an option.
Trap Joe. Still be drumming.
You got acid drums. You got like 5 or 6 drums.
I crashed and I gotta get this bad boy repaired. $2,500 damn duty. I crashed in a matter of 2 days after having it. That's that big, so.
That's what I can't. I mean, it's a cool ass hobby, but I can't invest $2,500 and then break that shit in 2 days. Now you gotta get it repaired.
Still flies and all that. Still flies, still good. That was the birthday gift.
That's crazy.
That's what happens when you got expensive things that don't get the insurance. But right here, I'll buy the one of you if you don't. This is where I started. This is the best one I ever had.
That shit was delicious, bro.
Throw it out the window. Fly
I
back
figured
in.
I better make us a big breakfast because we were eating so damn late. And you just be hungry again at 2 days.
Even though that one looked like that. Bone session shit.
He got a whole room in his house. It's just all his smoking and gaming stuff.
It's like playing an old Jet Li movie. Okay. See, I still got the line up. These
Oh,
are
wow.
still good. No problems here.
You got an acid drones, bro. That's all that's his little hobby is fucking droning around the city, making videos.
Them drones not cheap, yo.
They not, like I say, he got like 6 of these motherfuckers, yo. And all of them over $1,000,
That's
yo.
what I say. Keenan got one, and that shit was under $1,000, and that shit dies so quick.
You gotta get the big, you get them big boy shits, yo.
He'll get like 5 minutes of footage, and then his shit be ready to die. He's like, yo, I should have just went over 1,000.
Yeah, that's his whole little gaming room.
I wouldn't mind having a drone.
I mean, it's a little fun, little hobby. Yeah.
We're using a drone to do my video.
Yeah. It's just all about getting used to piloting that shit and flying that shit around and getting
I'm about to say, I'm glad
footage.
I'm not the one that has to do it,
Yeah,
but since they know how to, do you think? That's fun though.
Yeah, my man playing the new Gran Turismo. That shit just came out like yesterday. I used to love the Gran Turismo racing series, but I ain't played a racing game in so long. Like, I don't even know if them shits would be fun anymore for me. Mm-hmm. And this motherfucker, they still get snow in Colorado. That is crazy.
My coworker over there in Wisconsin, yo, just got a fucking blizzard.
I can't do it. He got all the weed on his trip. Like that motherfucker got like an ounce of weed already ground up on his trip, yo. You can't hardly see that shit. Why you got so much weed out, bro?
You can tell he a big kid at heart.
This nigga 47, 48 years old.
That's what I say, a big kid at heart.
Mm-hmm.
All of them switches though.
Yeah, that's all you do is smoke blunts. Blunt mover.
That's blunt mover?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how anybody looks. I know how Shaman looks. That's about it. Cause he showed us his hair that one time.
Yeah, he got a fucking. I remember he had a dude come to his house to touch his tattoo up. Got a glow in the dark tattoo. All right, so what's the word for the day, people? I've been almost 2 hours already. Damn. And Good Piff, he used to be in my stream sometimes. He was just in there with Blunt Mover, and then he followed my page. But I ain't know this niggas be doing shit like that.
Damn. That's pretty.
Yeah. That's how you do, bro.
You know what? LA homie, you got that. Or is that the word to not say?
Ain't that the
Every
damn
time
truth?
you say it, it goes up by 10 cents. We
Brother,
literally
the day
left.
is gas. Too damn high.
Literally left and it was 409.
And
came
come back
and it was like 420.
Yo.
Literally within a matter of less than 6 hours.
Yo.
Yeah.
It's been going up it's been going up like 10 cents every day. It was like 165. Then that shit went up to like 177. Then that shit was like 198. It was like 409. Then now it's like 420. It's like, what the fuck is going on, yo? In a week. In just a week.
It's crazy.
And I gotta drive 30 minutes one way to get to work, yo. 30 minutes one way. I commute about an hour each day. And I don't got no hybrid or nothing like that, just straight gas, yo. My gas bill for transportation is going up so fast, yo. Like when I bought my car last year, it was taking like $32 to fill up my tank. It took me like $58 to fill up my tank, yo.
And that was with cheap gas.
And that's with a lower price gas, yo. $58 to fill up. From in a year, it went from $32 to $58. And I keep seeing this meme like I don't ever worry about the price of gas. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Walk? No, but that don't mean I can't be worried about the price of gas.
Nah, because it's going up crazy. You're hilarious.
Right.
The song that you posted with it.
I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. That was the truth. I was hungry, and that shit looked so good. Yeah.
You should definitely hit the spot.
What it do? I need food. I need something in my stomach. That shit still ain't go to Facebook. I posted it at the same time, and it's on Instagram but not Facebook. And then Instagram and Facebook is the same thing. So how come one app works better than the other one?
I don't necessarily want to go back to sleep, but I want to get back into bed.
Yeah. You know what happens when you're in the bed, but you're not asleep.
Hey. Are y'all still watching? Yes, Netflix. I mean, on Netflix. Amazon don't even play. They ask you after every episode.
You gonna keep watching this shit or not?
What base y'all at right now? Y'all still at 1? Or did y'all move?
We'll put one more episode. Alright. Oh, that's what I meant to look up too. Like, there's... Well, I gotta look it up. This should be right out here.
I didn't call you. And he got up and you come right over here to get petted. You big baby. Big baby. Alright. Come on, you sniffing and breathing and looking all over me. Game Freak said we're living in the world of mystery now, a big reality TV show.
That's all it is, man. Everything is staged. Nothing is really real anymore, and information changes on the fly, yo.
Well, I guess this whole thing now is like, okay, COVID's not working, so we need something else.
We always have to have a boogeyman in order to keep the masses subdued and begging the governments for a solution. We don't know what to do. Please solve our problems. And then they always have the perfect answer every time. So I know we live in a very false generated reality. But the thing is that with the internet, global communication, almost instantaneously, more people can actually analyze what's going on, break it down, and have in-depth discussions about it, and then help everyone else to see that it may not be exactly what they're telling us. And so now they have to always change the scenario faster and faster and faster and faster, so that they keep hitting us with new shit so we don't get stale and catch on to what the fuck they're actually trying to do. And honestly, I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're definitely ushering us towards some final agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's scary because, like you say, we don't really know what their ultimate end game is, but we know it's something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I say, generations ago, they could have the same boogeyman for almost a generation. You know, nuclear war in the Cold War era. That shit lasted for a long time. And then the period of global warming. That shit lasted for a long
Yo,
time.
I was worried about global warming for a long time, and now I'm kind of just like,
That was a big boogeyman. And then after global warming, it is. And if you don't laugh at it, you just sit around and cry all day. So, I say we always need some kind of global threat, something that keeps everyone subdued as much as possible. Then terrorism was the next big threat, and that lasted for basically a generation, 20 years, 25 years, where the terrorists are going to come take over your country and blow up everything. And that really didn't happen like that. And now it was on to the next big boogeyman, which is a global pandemic. Grandma and babies are going to die. And it's like, there was something out there, but did you make it? Did that shit come from nature? Because now we can't really trust the governments and what they're telling us. And then
we know it's man-made.
yeah, and so now more and more people, after just 2 summers of global lockdowns, they realize that they can't subdue us that hard for that long, and protests and riots and people just not giving a fuck, going against all the government mandates. And now they're saying, oh, that's not working anymore. We need something else. We need something else. World War III, or Russia's gonna attack Ukraine, and China's... and now COVID just vanished. And so it's on to the next thing. And so after this, who knows what the next thing... It's an alien invasion. The mothership is over Florida or so.
I mean, and that's my thing with the COVID thing is, so the flu and everything else has been around and has been killing people for a long time. So why haven't we been wearing masks during flu season for all these years? Somebody just said, oh, you know what? We're going to wear masks now. I get it, because it does make sense, but it doesn't make sense.
Questions like that. You're not allowed to ask, like, you know
just
what?
Like, what's her name?
Matter of fact, I might shut down your Facebook page just for asking that question.
Like Amber Ruffin. And she sat there and said, like, oh, y'all want us to trust you, but y'all was experimenting on black men less than 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm. But y'all want us to be the first ones to take these shots? I don't think so.
So that's exactly what's next. We gonna finally meet E.T.
It has to be something. And as far back as Reagan was the one who said...
Is E.T. gonna help us? That's all I want to know. Because shit, E.T. might got better interests for us better motives for us than the government does. Look, E.T., they trying to take you out. They trying to take us out too. So I say we go ahead and team up, as long as you don't want to eat me for dinner. Okay?
I think Reagan was the first person that said, how could we come together globally? What if there was a external enemy? And that would make all the nations come together.
Yeah.
Like if we had an outside threat from an extraterrestrial source, then every country would have to come together to defend Earth against that threat.
My fellow Americans, thank you for sharing your time with me tonight.
And so that's where the Star Wars program came
This is a real B&H customer story. Jack and Barbara, professional wildlife photographers and B&H.
At the beginning of this year, I submitted to the Congress a defense budget which reflects my best judgment and the best understanding of the experts and specialists who advise me. But behind all the numbers lies America's ability to prevent the greatest of human tragedies and preserve our free way of life in a sometimes dangerous world. It is part of a careful long-term plan to make America strong again after too many years of neglect and mistakes. Our efforts to rebuild America's defenses in management and procurement and but first, let me say what the defense debate is not about. It is not about spending arithmetic.
This might not be
Despite what many people think, our strategic forces only cost about 15% of the defense budget.
That might not be the interview, but I know he gave one speak where he talked about Star Wars and an extraterrestrial threat would bring all the countries together. And he was one of the people who first talked about the New World Order. openly, a sitting president who openly spoke about the New World Order. He was like one of the first people to say that shit.
Yeah,
yo.
they said, you ain't finna be doing that shit, bro. You got to.
But then he got shot at too, though. So that kind of made me think, like, was he a real person or was he a fucking puppet?
Yeah, because honestly, it never really registered with me until a couple of years ago, and I still kick myself. Like, I know I'm young, but just being too trusting. Like, even as much as I loved young Pharaoh and believed almost anything that he said, because the couple of times that I did go and fact check his stuff, the first couple of times, it always added up. So I'm like, okay, I don't gotta check him every time because he always gets it. And then he came out all high and shit. And I was like, see, even the people that you think the most high of or whatever, like they're still
They're just people.
they're just people, they're just human. If they are. I mean, I'm not saying he's not, but you get what I'm saying, like whatever. So
they're more flawed than we are sometimes.
right, they just know how to put it together better. And so that made me question, like, well, what if he was giving us just a little bit of information, but what if he got infiltrated, and what if he's just trying to lead black people into the wrong areas too?
My fellow Americans,
You can't trust nobody.
For sharing your time with me tonight. The subject I want to discuss with you, peace and national security, is both timely and important. Timely because I've reached a decision which offers a new hope for our children in the 21st
Timely
century.
because they're gonna kill
A
me.
decision I'll tell you about in a few minutes. And important because there's a very big decision that you must make for yourselves. This subject involves the most basic duty that any president and any people share. The duty to protect and strengthen the peace. At the beginning of this year, I submitted to the Congress a defense budget which reflects my best judgment and the best understanding of the experts and specialists who advise me about what we and our allies must do to protect our people in the years ahead.
Speech I just listened to. My pencil about to die too.
The firing, the killing, the bloodshed names to the roll call of human horror. Names such as Halabja, two in the highlands and coastal cities of southern Africa. For the first time, the differences between East and West controlled governments. For the first time, these differences have shown signs of easing. Easing to the point where it become more than that. Should it become reality, there is the prospect of not only a new era in Soviet-American relations, but a new age of world peace. For such reform can bring peace. History teaches, and my country has always believed, that where the rights of the individual and the people are enshrined, war is a distant prospect. For it is not people who make war. Only governments do that. I stand at this podium then in a moment of hope. Hope not just for the peoples of the United States that began the United Nations as never before. Already, you, Mr. General Secretary, Secretary of Nations, can be, and we salute you for these accomplishments. And in Geneva at this very hour, bilateral negotiations on a range of issues involve a broad arms control agenda. Strategic, the negotiators are busy, is broken. Only recently, when the United States...
Yo, they cut out all these fucking clips where motherfuckers talk about the New World Order and all that shit, yo. What the fuck? This shit is so crazy.
Year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War.
Yeah, Reagan put dope in the
We
hood.
have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Alright, so if I smell this, you gotta smell it, alright? Give me some, Paul. Shake on it. Alright. Alright, it's your turn. Nestle Crunch. Okay, so
Babe, look. Oh my God, you gotta watch.
Nestle Crunch. Okay, so rock and then toast.
He's extra, but the first person who did that, I'm like, oh
How the
my
fuck,
God.
man?
Guess what I love? Nestle Crunch. That's the funniest shit that I've seen all day.
That's crazy.
I ain't never seen somebody crack their toe knuckle.
Next project will be Metaverse. That ain't the next project. That's the current project.
Right.
That's not the next project. That's the current project too.
That's the follow-up to the current.
Yeah, Elon Musk, he already announced Neuralink's Neuralace years ago. This was a couple of years ago he announced that. So these are current projects.
I'm guessing the lawsuits and all that shit didn't hold up though. All them lawsuits that people had.
That's not. So yeah, the metaverse is actually now. And there are people who have full-time jobs who just work in the metaverse. So this is the current thing. Whatever the next thing is fully downloading your consciousness into the web, into the matrix, where you no longer need a physical body. That may be the next, or either augmenting the body so much that you're actually a cyborg and not fully human, so that you don't have to breathe or you don't have to eat and things like that. So those are like some of the next projects that are coming. Being able to swap bodies or being able to digitally download your consciousness. But the metaverse and brain implants, them shits is here now and functioning already. Clones, all that shit is here right now.
That's the quotation from him that you people
You just said you admired him.
If you go to our webpage at amren.com, you can order his book. It is
You said you admired him, do you?
book. Right. All right. Race, evolution, and behavior.
This young
I
woman.
recommend it to all of us.
This young woman.
What's something that's so
I would
simple
first like
but
to
so
say I'm a
frustrating?
proud American, an educated black woman, and very strong, and not fearful of anything. Okay?
They already got people going to jail in the metaverse. There was one lady who made a report that she got gang raped in the metaverse.
Yo, that shit was so stupid.
Yeah, so people are already getting like assaulted in the metaverse, and people are going to metaverse jail. There's already people who are buying like plots of land in the metaverse. They own property inside the digital space. So yeah, that shit is now. Like that shit is crazy to even think that it's going on now.
Where we don't judge people, let them stand up and speak. We got to know where they are.
It's I don't know. It is very weird to think about the world we live in currently. Like our technology is awesome, but at the same time, just like every other far sci-fi fiction movie that depicts a dystopia, just like Terminator or shit like the Hunger Games, all kind of, that's where we're headed to, yo. You know what I'm saying? Our technology is awesome, but it may definitely be our downfall as well, yo.
You bought too much liquor this week. You bought too much liquor this week. Your social score is going down. Now we're gonna put you in jail.
Yep. And you let your child play on video games longer than a allotted time, and you were on a porn site. So your social credit score is dipping below the positive points, and that neighborhood that you were thinking about moving into, you no longer have access to that area of living because
Last infraction, you didn't put your you can't drive.
Yep.
You can catch public transit, or we'll arrange transportation for you.
And you didn't take your yearly vaccination, so you will not have access to public grocery stores or public transportation until you get your card updated.
It's not far-fetched.
Oh, it's not going to crash. It's going to be strategically destabilized because other countries have been trying to destabilize the dollar for a long time since it is used as the standard currency for trading crude oil. And other countries don't like that. Anyway, America really realizes that our dollar is pivoting on the point of non-existence where nobody respects our dollar anymore because it has no real buying value. And so, some type of digital cryptocurrency will become like our national currency, and it may even expand to being just one type of currency globally, where everybody in the world uses the same exact digital credit to make transactions, so nobody has to transfer Canadian money to Indian money to Russian rubles to the Japanese yen or to the dinar or whatever it is. Like everybody just has, it's only one thing.
And then once that happens, then it's gonna be like, well, everything's worth the same amount in every place, so we're just gonna give you all the same amount of money every month, and that's what you're gonna get.
But that's the thing, though. How would they do that because the warmer places in the world, the tropics, is where we get most of our fruits from throughout the year.
But that's what I'm saying.
And
the way they have like, we know it's all fake, but I'm just saying, like, how I could take my money to have a lot more in another country or another place because it's so much cheaper. It's not going to be like that. So then at that point, then it's like, well, everybody could just get the same amount every month. And that way it's fair. Nobody gets paid more than anybody else. Nobody gets this. We live in a utopian society. That's totally dystopian. Just saying, because I feel like that's the next step.
Oh yeah, hunger will make people do anything.
And then basically zombies without being zombies. Mm-hmm. Just killing each other, every man for yourself. Until they get down to a certain amount of people. Motherfuckers gonna be starting to purge.
Because, there are stories of...
I'm scared of the purge. That's what I'm scared for.
There are stories of normal people turning cannibalistic just to survive for whatever situations where that plane crashed on the side of a snowy-ass mountain and mostly everybody died, but a few survivors were there and they couldn't figure out how to get the fuck off the mountain until rescue squads came from them and they were starving.
So they ate the dead bodies.
So they started eating dead bodies. And hunger will cause a human to do things that they don't think they would normally do. And a week without food, you could kill somebody for a can of beans. You go 7 days without eating anything.
Shit that we don't even think about.
Yo, you'll kill a motherfucker for a can of beans, yo. Mm-hmm. And they know that shit, yo.
Then they got us on 2 and 3 meals a day too, so you really be screwed. Versus somebody who only eats like once a day or a very small meal, they could go a lot longer. But water, it's water too, like shit.
You can't even go 7 days without water. You go 3-4 days without water, see what happens. You about to die. You go 3 or 4 days without no hydration, no good clean drinking water, well your body starts shutting down, yo. 4 days without no water, shit. And that's real, bro.
Start be eating bodies and trying to drink piss and just get anything you can to get some damn... I'm just like, ooh, that's a horror story. Like,
so our society is very fragile. And the thing is, like, the average person is so far away from nature. Like, if everything shut down, Very few people could survive in the wintertime. If you live somewhere where it snows in the wintertime, if you're in like New York or Maine, uh, like Wisconsin or some shit like that, most people couldn't survive a winter. That's it. You just couldn't survive one winter just to stay warm and figure out where your food is going to come from.
I just remember them talking about like even 100 years ago and them having several blankets and just having to heat the blankets before you go to bed because it was cold and that's how you stay warm. You put fire in the fireplace, burn some wood, but it wasn't just go grab the space heater and plug that shit in. Like nah, you gotta heat up them blankets hours ahead of time so it could be warm enough just to last you throughout the night.
See, the average person couldn't even feed themselves for a year without a grocery store. You couldn't survive a whole year just feeding yourself off of nature. Motherfucker can't hardly catch an animal first of all, and then when you catch an animal, you can't hardly process that shit.
Imagine though, like we could only eat like for a year. All you could eat is fucking lettuce and potatoes. That's all you got.
And then
cabbage,
that ain't enough nutrition. So you might survive that shit, but you're gonna have calcium deficiency and bone damage.
You're gonna be skinny with a big old bloated belly.
You know what I'm saying? All your shit will be fucked up, yo.
Yeah, we don't think about that. It's real easy to take us out, yo.
That's why I done said it 3 or 4 times, like just to order this book. It's a survival book, and it's called Edible Plants of North America. And it's not a thick book, but every plant that you can just walk out in the wilderness and eat. Every type of plant or berry or root that's edible and sustainable, like, because most niggas don't know that shit, yo. You don't know, like you say, if you're in the woods, you don't know what you can eat and what you can't eat. I don't know, but this World War III shit, man, it really, I don't think any country really wants to use nukes right now because so many people have them. But I think Putin crazy enough. That motherfucker might try something. If it ain't a nuke, it'll be like some large ass.
He already said it without saying it. Like, he was like, don't try that shit. But he already said, like, look, I'm ready. Whether y'all do or don't try this shit, I'm ready. So try it if you want, because I'm really ready. Like, that's basically what he said. Because it wasn't just like, please don't. And if you don't, I won't. It was just like, yo, go on if you want to. Go ahead.
And like, this is...
Nobody's surprised, though, by Putin.
No. But for people who don't I don't keep up with politics. I don't follow that shit. These are the times where you definitely should follow politics because it is directly impacting everybody's everyday life. When you have to pay more at the grocery store and when you have to pay more at the gas pump, you know there's something wrong. Like there is something going on.
Well, not just that, the overnight. How'd it go in a matter of a year? Gas is double what you were paying.
And it's affecting everyone and everything.
And back to, not that Trump is the savior, but all I'm saying is that when Trump was in office, there were some historical lows as far as unemployment and poverty for young people, for minorities, for single mothers. Like,
shit was different just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. Just everything.
A year and a half.
Everything
later.
can switch so fast, yo.
Granted, I understand that prices go up, but it's like in a year and a half, gas is double what it used to be. You telling me that because of COVID, I gotta pay triple what I used to pay for beef? Like what?
And then now it's like you'll get used to paying this, so when it goes down to like $3.50, you'll be happy, like, oh, thank God it's not like $4 something
when
somewhere.
That shit go back down, we buying a spare deep freezer. I'm stocking up.
But then
Fuck it.
At the same time, like we remember when gas was like $2 something, so it won't ever get back that low.
I remember when gas was in the ones.
I remember that too. I remember when gas was in the change. I remember the last cheap gas I got one time, yo. That shit was like 97 cents a gallon, yo.
What year was that?
It was a few years ago. When I went home, there was a gas station in Hartsville, yo. There's probably 7, 8 years ago.
I was gonna say, because I've been driving for 9 years. And
about 7 or 8 years ago, I went home to see my people, yo.
I can believe that.
And there was this one gas station on on the side of town my aunt lived on, and that shit was 97 cents a gallon.
That's crazy.
I was like, damn, this thing is less than $1. But then everywhere else, even in North Carolina, it was only like $1.10, $1.15 a gallon.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I definitely remember gas being like 130, 140, you know, going down south. Like, even like really a couple years ago, like maybe like 3-4 years ago, going down to Georgia, and the gas would be like 170, 150. So it is crazy,
Like I say, we'll never reach those prices. It'll go up to it'll get close to $5 or $5, and then when it drop back down to like 3 something, you'll be happy. Like, oh my God,
just like
thank
us
you.
going into the market this morning to go get some coffee, and it just so happens that the noodles are in the coffee aisle, and the fucking pack of beef.
Even ramen noodles is just like, what the fuck?
$4 for a pack of noodles, and I'm like, you used to be able to get the whole box. Like it was 10 cents per pack of noodles, 5 cents.
Not no more. Nigga can't even. Everybody's like, shit, man. Struggle meals, noodles, ramen soup. You can't even afford that shit now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, first of all, we don't even really like noodles like that. But yeah, like them egg noodles and stuff that I buy, that shit is cheaper than the damn oodles and noodles, and it's just like, what the hell?
And that's the thing. Like, it's happening daily. Like daily, you can see the increase. Like.
Yeah,
it's going so fast.
4 cans of tuna for $1, and now it's like 1 can, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But even then, if it's like 2 for $1, it'd be like 2 for like $1.25 type shit. So yeah, even like the little staple shit, bread used to be like $1.50. Now that shit is like $3.50 for some decent bread, if that. That was at Walmart.
See, man, I'm about to quit my job and get on food stamps, y'all.
And this is what I talked about. People be better off when they just milk the system.
Just give me my food for free, man.
Give me my food. Give me a little shack to live in. Give me a little check once a month. Shit. And by the time you get done paying now, you might as well let somebody else pay for you to live. Shit. That's why I don't even be mad at people who be milking the system anymore. Like, I be mad because I gotta pay for that shit. But hey, I get it.
I definitely see that shit. I don't know why they didn't bring that seed case in here. Yo, Jimmy Brown, I sure appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, they do smell like something. You gotta wait when you close the door again.
How did it?
With the petition went among the crowds attending a state fair, asking people to sign her petition demanding the banning of dihydrogen monoxide. She said it was in our lakes and streams, and now it was in our sweat and urine and tears. She collected hundreds of signatures to ban dihydrogen monoxide, a fancy chemical name for water. A couple of comedians were behind this ploy, but there is nothing funny about its implications. It is one of the grim and dangerous signs of our times. This little episode revealed how conditioned we have become, responding like Pavlov's dog when we hear a certain sound, in this case, the sound of some politically correct crusade. People are all born ignorant, but they are not born stupid. Much of the stupidity we see today is induced by our educational system, from the elementary schools to the universities. In a high-tech age that has seen the creation of artificial intelligence by computers, we are also seeing the creation of artificial stupidity by people who call themselves educators. Educational institutions created to pass on to the next generation the knowledge, experience, and culture of the generations that went before them have instead been turned into indoctrination centers to promote whatever notions, fashions, or ideologies happen to be in vogue among today's intelligentsia. Many conservatives have protested against the specifics of the things with which students are being indoctrinated. But that is not where the most lasting harm is done. Many, if not most, of the leading conservatives of our times were on the left in their youth. These have included Milton Friedman, Ronald Reagan, and the whole neoconservative movement. The experiences of life can help people outgrow whatever they were indoctrinated with. Cyst, however, is the lazy habit of hearing one side of an issue and being galvanized into action without hearing the other side. fundamentally, not having developed any mental skills that would enable you to systematically test one set of beliefs against another. It was once the proud declaration of many educators that we are here to teach you how to think, not what to think. Far too many of our teachers and professors today are teaching their students what to think about everything from global warming to the new trinity of race, class, and gender. All the conclusions with which they indoctrinate their students were 100% correct. That would still not be equipping students with the mental skills to weigh opposing views for themselves in order to be prepared for new and unforeseeable issues that will arise over their lifetimes after they leave the schools and colleges. Many of today's educators not only supply students with conclusions, they promote the idea that students should spring into action because of these pre-packaged conclusions. In other words, vent their feelings and go galloping off on crusades, without either a knowledge of what is said by those on the other side or the intellectual discipline to know how to analyze opposing arguments. When we see children in elementary schools out carrying signs and demonstrations, we are seeing the kind of mindless groupthink that causes adults to sign petitions they don't understand, or, worse yet, follow leaders they don't understand, whether to the White House, the Kremlin, or Jonestown. A philosopher once said that the most important knowledge is knowledge of one's own ignorance. That is the knowledge that too many of our schools and colleges are failing to teach our young people. It takes a certain amount of knowledge just to understand the extent of one's own ignorance. But our educators have given assignments to children not yet a decade old to write letters to members of Congress or to presidents, spouting off on issues ranging from nuclear weapons to medical care. Will Rogers once said that it was not ignorance that was so bad, but all the things we know that ain't so. But our classroom indoctrinators are getting students to think that they know after hearing only one side of an issue. It is artificial stupidity.
Artificial stupidity.
You ain't even real stupid. You just fake stupid.
Stupid because you was talking to me.
Stuff. We love stuff. And there's some really great stuff out there. But I doubt that any of us will look back at our lives and think, I wish I bought an even thinner TV. Found a lighter light beater.
Launch it.
Place 100% of the blame for all of it on Joe Biden and John Kerry. This war is the Green New Deal war.
There's much blame to go around. Colonel Vindman, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi.
It all happened because of a rigged election.
Look, Russia is now being canceled.
Well, folks, the wussification of America is on full display, and Vladimir Putin is going to waltz right in and conquer one of the largest countries in Europe.
There they all sat on Friday in the White House, wearing their ludicrous face coverings. Do they have any idea how weak that made America look? Our military chiefs cowering in pathetic little masks.
I think you can say, well, Putin's out of his mind. Yes, maybe so. But at the same time, he's being compelled by God.
Could it be that Greta Thunberg and Leonardo DiCaprio actually might be to blame for what Vladimir Putin is doing?
Russia has invaded Ukraine. Why is this happening? What does it mean? Where is Hillary Clinton's email server? Well, I've been watching Fox News for 648 hours straight, and I'm ready to Fox-blame Ukraine. Why did Putin invade Ukraine? The answer's complex, but let me try to explain. Burisma, critical race gender, Minnie Mouse in a pantsuit. Don't believe me? Take a look inside the gender-neutral bathroom in Hunter Biden's laptop. This is happening because President Biden is weak. When Donald Trump was president, Putin didn't meddle in Ukraine.
Oh, you know what she does look like too? Kelly Ripa. That's what she looked like.
She does look like Kelly.
That's who I thought she was at first.
In America, Putin is strong and Biden is weak. America needs a strong leader. By the way, why are we supposed to think that Vladimir Putin is evil? He's not the one poisoning our children with critical race theory. Vladimir Putin is evil. I've always said that. I have never said that Vladimir Putin is a handsome genius with a hottie's body. Let me be clear. Vladimir Putin is a handsome genius with a hottie's body. He is a tyrannical leader. He was not democratically elected, and he alone is responsible for this. I'm talking about Joe Biden, if that isn't clear. Sanctions? Really, Joe? We need to be sending cruise missiles, Chevy cruises, Penelope cruises, Norwegian cruise lines. We need to do far more to support our allies in Yugoslavia. Ukraine. Tom Cruises, Terry Cruises, Booze Allen, Tim Allen. Allen Iverson?
Yo, she is playing right now. Not Tom Cruise and Allen Iverson.
To do far more to support our allies in Yugoslavia.
Allen Iverson.
Ukraine. Tom Cruises, Terry Cruises, Booze Allen, Tim Allen. Allen Iverson? You know who could solve this crisis in minutes? Ivermectin. Vladimir Putin, if I was your mother, I wouldn't make you wear a mask at school. Vladimir Putin is evil, but in some ways, he's a hero. But in more ways, he's a villain, a strong villain, a patriot, a tyrant, a menace, a mensch. Pete Buttigieg took maternity leave? Vladimir Putin wrote a book. He's evil, though, yet seductive. Vladimir Putin supports Trump. I also support Trump. Does that make me Vladimir Putin? Russia is basically being canceled. First Mr. Potato Head, now Mr. Putin Head. And that's pretty much all you need to know about the Ukraine situation, according to Fox News. NATO's run by vampires.
According to Fox News, really?
She says Fox explain. She's explaining Fox News. That was pretty fun. Allen Iverson? 6. And then what's so funny? They were just talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. And
You know one white ally that goes unsung, in my opinion, is evil white actors in civil rights movies. These are unsung heroes of the movement. Because here's the thing, if you're going to have a black struggle movie and you're going to tell the truth, that means you have to show some heinous shit happening. And to show heinous shit happening, that means you need white actors being motherfucking terrible on camera. You gotta have it. And I've met some of these white actors. These are good, normal-ass white boys. They got to walk on set all nice and then just turn on the racism. You know what kind of pressure they under? You gotta walk on set and say nigga for 12 hours. You gotta eat lunch by yourself. Nobody talks to you. You gotta walk on set all chipper and shit. Hey, good morning, how you doing? Hey, guys. Hey, director, good to see you. Hey, Denzel, good to see you too. We ready? And action. You are nigga! And cut. Is that good? We gotta go again? Oh my God. I'm sorry, Denzel, we gotta go again. I don't want to. You gonna tell the history of my people the right way. Every now and then you need a white actor being a heinous motherfucker on that camera. You telling me Leo DiCaprio didn't kill it in Django Unchained? Leonardo DiCaprio transformed in that movie. That's one of the bravest white allies I ever seen in my life. Turned into an evil ass enslaver. Called Jamie Foxx a nigga to his face. To his face. Not an empty chair, but like they did the CGI Jamie Foxx later. Jamie Foxx was in that room and Leo was right there. They was grabbing Kerry Washington and shit by the hair. Just being disrespectful. Fucking put 10 toes in the ground and called fucking Jamie Foxx a nigga to his face in front of Samuel L. Jackson. Bravery. And all they do, they love to say, oh, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. Well, so does Leonardo DiCaprio. That's a wild stunt. Right next to Samuel L. Jackson. Look Jamie Foxx dead in the face. You said you would be willing to pay an exorbitant amount of money for what you consider to be the right nigga. Well, it would seem to me this lady right here is indeed the right nigga. Same dude from Titanic, y'all. You just gotta respect that transformation. This dude went from Titanic to enslaver. Near, far, wherever Django, this is what the sacrifice Leonardo DiCaprio made. After Django Unchained in 2012, it was almost 10 years before he did another scene with a black co-star. That's how I'm not calling the man racist. He's done movies with every minority you can name. Did a movie with a bear. He's a solid dude. But he knew when he made that movie. Once you call Jamie Foxx and Kerry Washington nigga in front of Samuel L. Jackson, you got to lay low for a decade. And that's sacrifice. If anybody know Leo, tell him he can come home. Tell him it's time.
Damn. Never thought about it like that. This nigga had to lay low for a decade. I can't do no... Yeah, but Will Smith wants you to be... Nah, I'm good, man. Tell Will I can't do no movie with black people for me. You know how many times I said nigga in Django?
Every day I make around $10,000, and it's all online. It's actually not from real estate. If you're someone that's looking to get into real estate...
This new home robot can dance, vacuum, and tidy up. And it has another feature that's even better. Home robots are taking off rapidly. They can be fun, save time, detect diseases, and could reshape society. Emo is an AI robot with some impressive skills. He can help with small things.
Emo, turn the light on.
He takes photos. He plays games. You can talk to him or shoot him.
Boom.
And he can recognize you and hear where sounds are coming from. Emo has a lot of character. Eilic loses the feet and gains arms. It can communicate and play games with friends. These robots are designed to fight. Japan holds robot fighting competitions with amusing entrances, samurai swords, and wrestling. Look at this throw. This robot mimics your movements using controls strapped to your waist. It has a sword and shield and sensors to detect impacts. 3 years ago, people were impressed that Abo could kick a ball. It's a great robot, but it costs $3,000. This new robot costs $500, and it can kick a ball into a goal. It can also work with colours, motion track, recognize you, and sort objects. And it's one of a special breed of small robots that aren't just toys. ClickBot was created by an award-winning animator from the movie WALL-E. It can be put together in hundreds of different ways, walking on walls or moving like a snake, and of course dancing. And there's something special about these two robots. Robots have made Elon Musk the world's richest man. He doesn't care if his employees have degrees.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school.
And his kids don't go to a normal school. He created a school for them where they learn from practical challenges.
Our brain has evolved to discard information that it thinks has no relevance. You're being asked to memorize formulas, but you do not know why.
Every little flower of curiosity, said Einstein, is crushed. We think that memorization is science, and that's not true at all.
Picking a problem and then using math or physics to solve that problem is far more engaging.
ClickBot and Emo can be programmed, helping people to learn code. The world is short of 40 million coders, and that's expected to reach 85 million by 2030. With ClickBot, it goes all the way from recording and playing back actions to full coding. Some might prefer a programmable tank that fires gel balls and teaches maths and science. The company behind it also made my favourite toy, an FPV drone. It helps you see places from a completely new perspective, and it pretty much flies itself, almost making up for my terrible pilot skills. The Jetson 1 enables you to fly without a pilot's license. It's probably very noisy, and I guess
That's
we'll
what
have to see
Elon
what
said
happens when
about
it crashes.
the
But it
interface, the
looks
brain
so
interface.
fun.
Is like
I'd
if
love
we
to give it a
don't
go.
merge with
The
this
details on the
technology,
website
then it
contains
will
a really
overtake us.
high-quality machine.
But if we
It
can
uses
get
LiDAR
an
sensors to track
artificial
terrain and
intelligence
avoid
and
obstacles.
merge with it,
If
then
you
we
let go
can
of the
always be a
controls,
part
it
of
will
it and
hover,
control it.
and there's a ballistic
But if we just
parachute
let
for
this shit
emergencies.
get away from us,
If the flight
it's like
computer crashes,
there's no
backup
coming back
systems
from
will
that
kick
shit,
in.
yeah.
It can fly for
why
20
not just
minutes
fucking
after
stop?
charging for an hour or two, and the top speed is software
that's the
limited
thing.
to 63 miles an
It's
hour.
almost
which seems
encoded
fast
in
enough.
man not to stop. That's
The
why we
Jetson one
always
costs
get more stuff. We came from
$82,000
using Stone
and
Age
sold out for this
tools
year.
and caves,
It's just
and
5
now we got
years since the
houses and
Swedish
lights
company was
and
founded.
cars and
An
planes, and it's
impressive
like
pace of development.
we always
This
want
was their
something to
first
make
manned
our
flight.
lives better,
It
and
was
we'll
brave,
never stop doing
with
that.
its legs so
It's
close to
just
the propellers
something that
and
humans
a
don't
basic
stop
controller in
doing.
his hands.
I
And
need a robot
SkyDrive
that
is
can
aiming to be
vacuum my
available
floor for
next
me,
year.
sure.
This is how
A
it
robot that
expects
can
air
wash my car
traffic
for
to
me?
look as flying
Sure.
taxis take off. The traffic density is certainly
like,
ambitious. I think the aviation
I don't know, I'd
authorities
rather
would
drive
require
myself
some
to work.
persuading. But
Rather
back to
cook
home
my own
robots.
food, I don't know.
Some of them are genuinely helpful. This one uses lasers to navigate and an ultrasound sensor to detect different floors. If it's a hard floor, it'll clean it by quickly moving a small mop back and forth as it goes.
I think the easiest way, I mean, like they're already doing it with just these little vacuum cleaners and shit like that. If you go into a McDonald's and their prices are constantly going up, everything's going up, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to drop our prices, but this is how we're going to do it. We're going to have one person who comes in to check the robots. But you can order through your machine. This machine is going to cook the food.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have nothing to worry about. We just have somebody who sits here to watch to make sure everything's still going.
Make sure the place don't burn down.
Mm-hmm. So now, your prices, we're not going to charge you $10 for a meal. We're only going to charge you $7 because we still got to pay for the maintenance of these machines and robots. And I feel like that's how it's going to start. Going to Walmart and can't use cash.
And you only can check out yourself because every aisle is self-checkout now.
I'm with that. And you're not stealing nothing because the robots are everywhere and they got 10 sets of eyes on them so they see everything. And they're going to send it to the whoever of Walmart and lock you inside the fucking store. Look at all these scenarios we're coming up with, but it's so possible.
Yeah, all stores are just going to be like Fresh Market or Amazon store where there is no cash. And whatever you walk out the store with will be charged to your account.
Right.
Period. It don't matter.
It will be charged or you'll be in debt where your social score will go down.
Drop immediately. Oh, you went to the grocery store knowing that you didn't have enough in your account to buy all the items and you still walked out with the items.
Stuff, but you walked out, you didn't pay for that waters.
Yep. So now you keep that, but your social score just tanked. He's a thief.
And now when you do it, we're going to double it because we've already warned you once.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like a video game trying to calculate your score.
Yo, that was a good episode of Black Mirror. Yo, that girl and she was so pressed to get her score up so she can move to this one neighborhood. And she tried and she was almost there and then shit just started slipping and falling and she fell so behind in points that she couldn't even make them back up. And then she realized, like, fuck all this social credit shit, man. I just want to live my life.
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't because we're trained to be consumers. And the apps are training us to always look our best and always present our lives as the most positive version of it.
And we are conditioned. I like to think that you're an open person too, an open-minded person, but I like to think that I'm like very open-minded. Like you're open-minded, but you're older. You know what you are. You know what you like. You know what you stand for, what you don't.
And I still like, because I didn't start my deep brainwashing until later in life. I was in my teens when I started questioning things, but I really didn't understand like how deep shit goes until like my 30s. And I started to read more, and it's just like I am really fucked up just by the life I've led and then by the society that I live in and the things that I was taught as normal. Is like motherfucker got a lot of deprogramming to do, and it takes a lifetime if you don't catch it quick enough. Like I say, I tried to show some stuff to my uncle when he was in his late 40s, 50s, and he's like in his late 60s and just catching on to how shit really is now. And he was a military man, and it took him almost to the end of his fucking life
and
to
being
see
around other
like.
people, because sometimes it is just that seed that somebody plants.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you first met me, I was still into all that spirituality stuff, and I still am to an extent. But after being with somebody who's an atheist, at first I used to get a little bit triggered because I'm like, fuck you talking about my spirituality for? Like, if I want to burn my sage and play with my tarot cards, mind your business. But like I said, the more that I just am around you and other people that just think different ways, it just challenges me to open my mind. So it's like, okay, I'm still spiritual, but does everything that I'm doing and everything I believe in make sense? Mm-hmm. And yeah, so like you said, even for somebody like us, like, we're open-minded, but we still feel how we feel because we were raised how we were raised.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to overcome the program.
Now, I can say as far as politically, it was not hard for me to decide that I don't fuck with nothing. Because I went from a total Obama lover to I hate Trump to damn, I think Trump was one of the best presidents ever. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm not a Republican and I hate all of them. So I could say that and the education part of it, but like, even like growing up, like, it's always been like, oh, you need to grow up, go to church, get married, have a husband, have a family, do this, do that. And like, as much as I like the white picket fence and all that shit, I'm more so like, yeah, I want my man, and I want to be able to smoke weed in my house, and I want to be able to travel, like, all that shit that I was conditioned to want. Now that I'm older, it's just like, did I really want that? Or did I want it because I was told I was supposed to want it?
You're told that's how society is supposed to work. And that's what you're supposed to want. This is what every young lady wants.
But it's you be torn, though. Because I do like being all dolled up and doing my nails and getting pretty and all of that societal. Like, I could not shave at all. I could not do my hair and not never wear makeup or never paint my nails again or never get dressed nice, because if I don't care about what anybody thinks, why would I do any of that anyway? Mm-hmm. But that's one of those things that I'm conditioned with, that like, I'm always just gonna make sure I look decent. I'm always gonna make sure I smell good. Like, I can't, certain things I can't part with. I'm always gonna want to be a mother and a wife, even though I know, like, deep down inside I'm not religious. But it's just another part of me that's just like, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's what it gotta be. Microsoft just killed Zuckerberg's metaverse? No, they didn't. What kind of clickbait is this?
Microsoft ain't got nothing to compete.
I gotta watch that, but I'm still in the middle of this. This was funny. Catfish in the KKK. That shit was funny as fuck. You remember that? Mm-mm. That was the dude who was like sending the messages to the dude about the barbecue and all that?
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's him, I think. His name is Josh Johnson. That's a damn.
I don't know. I thought that was something like the Black Klansman.
Oh, maybe it's something different. If you could remember every life you lived. This is a long segment. Yeah, and I was watching, this is a sidebar, but I'm watching this other dude who is very spiritual and into the esoteric realm and all that shit. And I take some of the stuff he has to say with a grain of salt, but he's very intelligent. And he was just like, yo, even the way they teach you guys about atoms and astral projection and everything that you're taught, like, you don't even know the surface of the shit that you're into. They're like, yeah, we're taught about atoms, we're taught about this, and we're taught about that, but like, what do you actually really fucking know besides nothing? And I was like, yeah, we really don't. Especially if we only use, 10% of our brain? Mm-hmm. Like, imagine, and I get Elon, like, okay, imagine if you could use even 50% of your brain or 100% of your brain. But then what if we're too smart for our own goods? You know what I mean? Like, is there such thing as being too smart for your own good?
Not if there's a overall collective where it's not just a few people who are super smart, but if the majority of the population had superhuman intelligence, then I think.
And that's the thing. How do you even get it to where it's not biased? Are you just putting Google in my head, or are you linking all of us into the same thing? And then once I get into this Neuralink thing, then you could just control all of our brains at one time? Like, how does this shit work? You know what I'm saying?
This is true. And once again, I don't fucking know.
I won't be the first person to get it. I know that. I'm the last to get whatever it is that somebody else made. I don't fucking want it. I don't fucking want it.
Ambitious, but reviews are pretty positive. There are also pool cleaning, window cleaning, ironing, and mowing robots. The Amazon page for this little thing claims it removes nearly all allergens using UV light. It's an interesting idea, but having read a study, I'm skeptical. And one reviewer said it kept falling off the bed. Scribbit can draw on walls and then clear it off, making your home into a kind of Etch-a-Sketch. It's a pretty cool idea. The reviews are a bit mixed, but as
it just literally wrote shit and made art on the wall. That's like, I've never seen anything like that.
Scribbit can draw on walls and then clear it off, making your home into a kind of Etch-a-Sketch. It's a pretty cool idea. The reviews are a bit mixed, but as it improves, I could see it really taking off. I have zero art skill, but I'd love to see my daughter's sketches on the wall. If you're going to have an AI face on your desk, you could also put a plant on it. This one can show if the plant needs watering, or more light, or if it's too...
I be so anti-robots and machinery, and then I see this shit and I'm like,
technology is cool as fuck, yo. Technology is so cool.
It's so fucking cool. Oh my god.
If it's used for good stuff.
Even that show we watched, she called that thing to help them get out of the house the Onyx.
Oh yeah.
And then the other robots ended up taking his ass out. So that shit was a really cool turn. That's the one thing I did like about that.
They said that was a complete mistake, though. It was a mistake that the robots turned on them.
On the Onyx?
Yep.
How?
One of the main Onyx robots in the facility.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about all their personal robots in the house. Because I was about to say they didn't turn on the humans. They had the humans back the whole time. And the humans were like, "Oh, get the fuck away from me! I'm scared." And they're like, "Yo, like, what the fuck? We're human. We can laugh and dream." But yeah, it was a mistake. But that's what I'm saying. Who's to say that shit couldn't happen? But then again, like I said, just the fact that the other robots did save the humans, it was like robot against robot. That shit was wild.
You can show the QR code to configure it for different plants. The Labrador Retriever is a simple robot to move things around for people with disabilities. And there are wardrobes that automatically sort clothes for people who can't be bothered. Amazon's Astro can monitor your home and let you know if it sees anyone that it doesn't recognize or hears any unusual sounds. It can be accessed remotely for video calls, and when you're home it can find you to check you get reminders, timers and messages. It can carry drinks and can be expanded to carry a blood pressure monitor or a Furbo dog camera which throws out treats. And smart toilets are promising to detect diet and health issues. A Stanford study found it is possible to detect signs of diseases by analysing your deposits. Of course, robots are also taking jobs. This vineyard robot can work several times faster than human workers. And over 1,000 of these robots have been sold, which serve things like ice creams. Autonomous tractors can now till fields using cameras and sensors. And it doesn't even require a new tractor. An upgrade kit has been launched by one of the world's biggest farm equipment companies. Hotel robots are delivering room service. And Flippy uses AI and computer vision to cook fast food. These robots can even identify ripe fruit before picking them and dropping them into bins. They coordinate to avoid crashing into each other. Robot waiters are currently selling for around $20,000, and as the price comes down, they're going to become more common.
Oh my fucking god. And she looks just like they're your cousins. What's the show?
Look at me.
The old school cartoon.
The Jetsons?
Yes. I couldn't think of the show. She looks just like the
Rosie?
Yeah.
Rosie the Robot.
Coordinate to avoid crashing into each other.
This over and over too,
Robot waiters are currently selling for around $20,000, and as the price comes down, they're going to become more common. This manufacturer of locks and hinges has started renting robots at $8 an hour.
I mean, she literally was the same color and all of that.
My childhood science fiction is reality now.
It's wild. And now I understand how old people felt about like cell phones and computers, and they're just like, wow, like we don't have to go to pay phones anymore. We don't have to use printout directions anymore or a map. Like, that's fucking crazy.
I remember like the first time when I was in Virginia, I took a trip to Pittsburgh. And that was the first time I've ever gone to Pittsburgh by myself, and the last time I actually used MapQuest, because I had to print out directions to get where I was going, because I didn't have a phone with GPS on it back then. And literally had to print directions out. And now, like, a few years later, like, no one would even think about needing to print directions on paper.
Right.
Like, print it out, a printout, niggas, just Google, put the shit in your fucking Google Quest, Google Maps, your Waze, or whatever other app you use, and it'll tell you how to get there.
How to get there, exactly. I know, God bless my grandmother's heart, yo, but her and Facebook, and she used to literally trying to explain to her on a flip phone before you had like the little swipe or talk to text that you had to press 3 times for the C. I couldn't get her to understand that. And by the time the smartphones and stuff came out, things were a little bit easier. She used to be on Facebook liking stuff and sharing stuff every damn day. Yeah. So it's like, it took her a minute, but she got adjusted. And I'm guessing I'm going to be the same way. But I just feel like the old people, like, why y'all out here fucking shit up? Bring Blockbuster back.
At least Redbox or something.
No, Blockbuster. Don't even. Cause what's the Redbox is the YOG. It's the remix. It's the off brand.
True.
Right. It's the Reggie. Like, come on, Blockbuster was the original.
That's crazy. Like, you can even remember that shit. Like,
I used to go to Blockbuster every week. We all did.
Yeah, going in there and just renting a movie for a couple of days.
And that's the thing, like, I know back in the day, like, people used to go out and do stuff, and I was still a child then, because I'm only in my 20s, so 20 years ago, I wasn't going out clubbing and stuff. But just remembering, like, the stuff that we used to do, like, it just was, like, a lot more family get-togethers and cookouts and roller skating and games and playing board games at home and watching movies at home. Like, we went out and did stuff, but it wasn't like, oh, we're going to travel or we're going to go to the club or we're going to go do this. Like, the times have really changed versus, like, me, all my friends now, like, they don't want to play board games or do none of that type of shit. They want to go to the club or they want to go smoke hookah or do those type of things. But I feel like back in the day, motherfuckers could sit there and play a card game or board game or whatever for hours, no matter what age you were. Or race or whatever. Everybody loves Scrabble.
You see, that one of the first things Aunt Jean always, y'all want to play a game?
Scrabble, spades, and she'll play whatever, yeah.
And that was the shit.
And all different ages, different races, different backgrounds from different states, whatever. And we all were down, like, all right, let's play Scrabble.
But now everybody's on their phone, on their tablet.
Well, the other thing about being with your aunt at her house, she ain't got no damn service, so you ain't got no choice.
That's it anyway, yeah. But that's how they like it.
Everybody will cuddle up with a book or, you know.
Motherfuckers disconnected, yeah.
Right. And that is how you keep a clear head, so. That's for sure. But yeah, we should definitely, now that I'm thinking about it, we should get some board games and stuff, because probably won't be fun with just us, but I
got a couple little games downstairs.
Yeah, that, and you can teach me how to play chess if you want. That'd be fun.
Yeah, old Rose a rematch.
Yeah, and you know my brother gonna be home, and he's like the king at that shit, so I ain't trying to get whooped too bad.
That's half the minimum wage for a worker.
I miss my
And look how well AI handles extremely difficult questions.
What's the rainbow taste like?
It tastes like rainbows.
What's the closest tasting food to a rainbow?
A rainbow is a spectrum of light that is visible when the sun shines on droplets of moisture in the atmosphere. So, if you want to taste a rainbow, you will need to find some water droplets in the atmosphere.
There are some brilliant AI apps. This one does motion capture. You film yourself, upload it, make any edits, and watch the results. I wonder if it will eventually match the quality of film kits like this.
Hi. Can you speak in Greek? Okay, let's see. Ένα, δύο, τρία.
There are also apps that can restore old photos, colorize them and sharpen them. There's hardly any detail here, but the AI nails it. It's almost like those amusing police scenes.
Maybe he saw the sniper.
Or was working with it.
Wait. Go back one.
What do you see?
There's a reflection. He's talking to whoever's wearing that jacket.
And deep nostalgia can animate photos. This is my granddad when he was a kid. And this is him as a pilot.
That's crazy.
If you could see the tech today, it would seem like sci-fi. You'd love it. And AI is creating impressive art.
The big question of what does it really mean to be a human in 21st century? This all leads to me this feeling of remembering the future.
When
As
I'm
humans,
dead, my great granddaughter
we
can be
have
like, "Yo, this
this
was
capacity
my
of
grandma's
imagination, and I think that's one of the most strongest ability to find solution to any problem.
Even if you have no skill, you can use this app to create really interesting stuff. You give it an initial image and a text prompt like Cyberpunk Forest by Salvador Dali, and the art keeps evolving until you're happy. AI also helped to generate these images of Simpsons characters, and it's competing with designers. This one generates
so
logos. You just give it a brand name, pick a color palette, enter some keywords, and it creates a few options for you. And robots are starting to take over some of the most sophisticated jobs. We previously looked at robotic surgery tools, and recently an autonomous laparoscopic robot operated on a pig with significantly better results than a human surgeon. It was described as one of the most intricate and delicate tasks in surgery, reconnecting two ends of an intestine. Slightly shaky hands could cause disaster. The robot uses computer vision and AI to adjust the operating plan in real time as soft tissues move and change shape during the procedure. And robot arms are learning new skills. This one can catch things.
No way.
And this one can throw them more accurately than the researchers that created it. Bionic arms are improving all the time. Tilly was one when her arms were amputated to save her from a life-threatening illness.
Oh wow.
So the arms are controlled by my muscle sensors, and the sensors on the inside, so whatever I do with the muscles, I can control the fingers. So if I squeeze the muscles, they'll close, and if I flex, they'll open. These hands have been made by Orgonix in 5 years, and if this is what they can achieve in 5, just think of what they can achieve in another 5. So I'm really excited about the future.
Brain control prosthetics are also advancing. Melissa Loomis can even feel.
We're right in the thick of it right now. Like it seems like the beginning phases, but the beginning phases is over. This shit is like we're more advanced than people know.
Got it.
And once again, in 20 years, 25 years, if you have the money and you lose your arm, you can get a robot arm that's so precise that you won't even matter anymore.
You don't need arms or legs.
And then I think in like 100 years, it'll be fashionable. I want robot arms. I want robot legs.
Fingers.
Yeah, that's the only thing is like, okay, robot arms and legs, but I gotta keep this part of my body because this is my face.
No, because then you can get these new lungs that has 50 times the capacity of real lungs, and you can go under the water and.
But are you then when are you human? Where do you
and that's the thing. That's the next phase. Like I was saying earlier, like the next phase is actually changing our bodies and uploading our minds into like a digital world. And I seen a preview
that will
for
be all digital. But once again, the birth giving process and just the natural like way of the world, like
none of that. That's
it's
old.
gonna have test tube babies.
That's old, obsolete. Yeah, everybody's is gonna have designer babies.
Right.
Or clones. And then I seen a preview for the show called Afterlife or some shit like that, where nobody really dies when you die. They just upload you into this virtual reality world, and everybody else is in there if they passed away already. And y'all could just kick it in like a cyber world forever.
But then, like, when does the mind develop so much that it decides, yo, I don't want to be here anymore? Like, I'm trapped in the sun.
And then that'd be another evolution where humans won't even need bodies anymore. And we'll evolve past bodies and we'll just be orbs of light or something.
That's what I was gonna say. Then we'll just be some type of mind, and then we'll be tired of that, and then we'll be nothing, and then the world ends, and then it restarts again. Maybe. Something starts.
Feel here on this hand. They're moved here. So that's her thumb, her index finger. She can even feel different temperatures.
My hand is cold. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's very cold.
And this synthetic skin has layers of sensors to feed back the sense of touch.
If you were to look at a little cross section of your skin and see all the different receptors, you would notice that they're not all in one layer. They're offset, and some are higher up in the skin than others. So we build the eDermis to actually mimic that. The top layer, when it experiences something painful, it's going to send you some information back. Further down in your skin, the mechanoreceptors tell you how hard you're pressing.
This bionic leg moves automatically, recognizing actions like walking upstairs. And this one adapts to the person's walking style. It registers electric signals from the brain and translates them into natural movements. It's also lighter and more powerful than a normal leg, and points to a future where disabled people might have superior abilities. This guy created his own partial prosthetic hand, and it's impressive.
Last week I was
It's
able
better
to
than a
turn
regular
my hand
leg.
closed. Now I'm able to splay the fingers.
The next couple of newly regained abilities
won't mean as much.
But then, this is gonna sound so stupid, but I think I would really miss my feet, my own feet. I got robot toes now.
So once again, your great grandmother would say, well, why would I sit around and watch TV all day? I would miss interacting with my family and going out in the garden. And then culture changed, society changed, and now nobody really misses going in the garden and doing shit like that. This is our new normal.
I'm not gonna miss getting body massages and going to get my feet done. Yeah, no.
The Missing Parts Club.
No
But being able to pick up small items it's a great feeling.
Why would I drive a car? I would miss my
Brain-controlled
horses and
bionic
stuff.
arms
Like,
are also advancing, and technology like this could transform us all. The new device is inserted through the jugular vein, up into the brain, where sensors extend into the walls of veins.
Over time, cells may gradually grow over the sensors and incorporate them.
You know, I don't know. I'm so amazed by it, but I'm fucking shook though.
As you should, because this shit is here. We're living in a strange, strange time.
For real.
It seems like even now, almost anything is possible.
I don't know how long we've even really been here, but I guess we'll never know.
That's one of my favorite questions.
What are we in and how long we've been here?
How long have we fucking been here for real though?
And how much is really out there that we don't know about?
Is there anybody watching right now? No.
Yeah, somebody's been in here the whole time. Who's in here right now? Just curious. I know Jimmy Brown was the last one in, but then again, it was saying 0 earlier, and there were like 4 people commenting at one time, so it's not catching up right. I don't know what it is doing. But there's definitely somebody or some people in here. Solo camping in tropical rain? Seems relaxing. I was gonna say if it's not cold. He said tropical rain, so I guess that was put there for a reason. Like, y'all not about to sit here and talk about me. I said it's tropical.
It's warm rain.
Anonymous hacks Russian military. Okay. What Frank Turek says atheists get wrong about morality. What happens if the moon crashes into Earth? Wait. A chick fighting a dude? Another 10 more rounds challenging professional fighters to a fight. Jalija versus Stephen Scholes.
Ever been accused of being flashy, fancy, or cool? I mean, seriously, we named ourselves Booking.com. It's kind of our thing. Helping you book that perfect stay. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Because life. Because life is constantly changing. And at Highmark, we believe that healthcare should change.
Welcome back to Listertainment, the channel with the most deceptive name in all of YouTube. And we are back with a 14th edition of regular people, otherwise known as idiots, that decided to challenge pro fighters. And well, the absolutely most obvious thing happened. Their life got completely turned upside down. These people have probably had a couple
lesson. Like, don't go around doing this, bro. You don't. If you don't know what you're doing, stop it. You're gonna be good.
You just keep talking shit. Like, just stop. I didn't want to do this to you, but now
you're gonna get hurt and embarrassed.
Got really lucky and won, and now they think that they can be a world-class fighter. These are the most delusional people on the planet. And they compete with those people who go to talent shows really thinking that they can.
Remember when we saw the little blonde girl that was like the cheerleader and the girl was all up in her face?
Mm-hmm. The big black girl? Thought you about to beat her up? No.
And I hate to say it, but you could tell that the black girl was, I'm not going to say she was messing with her just because she was white, because she definitely didn't seem like she was scared of nobody. But you used to doing that to people, and you thought because she was a little small white girl, she wanted to do shit, and that bitch.
Little cheerleader chick, man, I'll beat that little chick.
Yo, and she straight jumped up so quick. After that, I was like, I'm never gonna think again, because somebody's smaller than me that they can't fight.
Never underestimate any of
I thought she was about to get her ass whooped too, and she hopped up and started going on sis, and I'm like, damn, little white girl showed you.
Competition. If you happen to enjoy this video, please give it a like so we can satisfy the like-loving slut that is the algorithm, and subscribe down below. Also, make sure to turn on those notifications. Let's get started.
I'll let you talk. Oh, they're gonna show Tyron.
This guy in black walks into the gym and wants to teach the class. They let him do it until they realize that he doesn't know anything. Then when told to leave, he of course challenges the coach. And well, we all know what happens next.
You challenge the coach. The coach said you don't know nothing. Let's go. Come on. You better be knocked out already.
This guy is of course a pro at running away. The coach has to tell him to get in there and actually allows him to swing at him. Come on. Take notes, if a trained fighter tells you to take a shot, he is setting you up and will land a shot on you that will change your life. Like this guy.
I mean, why are you still trying?
You can see his face of complete shock, just thinking, where did that come from? I mean, his hands were down and now my face hurts. It was an amazing lesson that only an idiot needs to learn. Let's see what happens when we have a man thinking that he can beat a female pro fighter.
That's what got me, because I was like, I remember them talking about the person that was born a man and then is now a woman and competing in the women's sports. So I was wondering, like, what was going on. But this is literally somebody born a woman and some man thinking that he could whoop her ass.
Hat schon gefangen. Julia, starkes Mädel.
Julija Pagic is a pro fighter, and although this guy enters the octagon really confidently, he starts to act really cautiously as soon as he gets hit a couple of times. He also basically turns his back every time the girl is coming in, which is just embarrassing. Then the second round comes, and I'm surprised that he even went out there again.
Ja, da war man nicht schlecht. So, auch nochmal die rechte. Oh, der hat wieder wehgetan.
At this point, the woman is just playing and wants him to swing back. But he knows it's better not to get her angry, considering that she is already holding back a ton. A couple more clean shots to the face, and that's all it takes for him to just quit.
She's just playing. She like, please, swing me. She's tall though. She's taller than you. Shit.
We now have a professional fight between Renzo Gracie and Phil Benedict.
I don't know if I can pass. Okay, now it's nobody
How long have I been here? 3 hours. I got a lot of lettering done this morning.
Coyote, The Locks, Damn, Stony Hill, Miles' Godson, Keep Up the Curve Before I Leave.
Definitely have to
Talib Quality. I don't know what that is. And then Joy Badass.
I know which one is.
Above the Talib Quality?
Oh yeah, that's the side of Joey's case.
Okay.
Like his letters.
Ooh, babe.
The letters on that album is so fucking small.
Oh yeah, I see.
It's
You
like
can't see it on
yeah,
the
you
picture.
can't even see it on the picture at all. Like damn. Everything else is kind of hard to read, but it's still like more legible than that one. I just had the fake letters on that shit. Alright, I'll use 2 little brushes today. This brush and this brush. Yeah, Joy Badass, All American Badass, Quality Music, Kids on Drugs, Filthy America, Damn, Stony Hill, Godson, and Before I Leave. That's a lot of shit, bro. I can fix that Tupac case. Then I can detail the headphones and go back and add some bright whites into the fabric a little bit and straighten out this part because I got pink inside there. I want to make that white. Straighten out these letters. This shit is almost done. I can definitely finish this before next weekend. If I work on it a couple hours throughout the week, I'll definitely have it done before next weekend. And then next weekend, I can start on our shoes. And I'll do those until they're done.
I think I need to get some red laces. I don't know, I'm probably gonna tell
Popping out laces is always dope, though.
Yeah.
I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna put on mine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could do Ghost in the Shell on mine too if you wanted to. But, you know me. I'm totally like Betty Booped out.
Yeah, Betty Boop on yours.